Hold on. Before you spend that penny, stop. What if I told you that sitting in your pocket change, buried in your grandfather's old coin jar, or lost in the back of a drawer, there are pennies worth not just $1, not just $10, but potentially thousands of dollars? I'm not exaggerating. I'm not clickbaiting you. Today we are going deep on 6 specific Lincoln Memorial cents that have been quietly making collectors absolutely lose their minds at auction. These are dates, mint marks, and varieties that most people walk right past every single day without knowing what they're holding. So stay locked in, because by the end of this video, you will never look at a penny the same way again. Let's get into it. First up, coin number 6, 2008 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent. Denver Mint all right. We are kicking things off at number 6 with the 2008 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent. Struck right there at the Denver Mint. And listen. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, 2008? That's not that old. That can't be worth anything. And that right there is exactly the kind of thinking that makes people spend thousands of dollars without even realizing it. Let me break this down for you properly. The 2008 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent is one of the final year issues of the Lincoln Memorial reverse design before the United States Mint completely overhauled the penny in 2009 for Lincoln's bicentennial. That makes this coin a transitional piece, the last of a dying era, and collectors absolutely love that narrative. When a design runs its final year, demand from registry set collectors, from complete date and mint mark set builders, from variety hunters, all of that demand converges on that one final issue. The 2008 D is that coin. Now let's talk face value versus real-world value. Face value? 1 cent, one single American penny. But in high grade, we're talking mint state MS67 red or above. This coin has brought prices at major auction houses that would genuinely make your jaw hit the floor. We're talking values pushing into the $800 to $1,500 range for pristine red examples. And for anything that grades MS67 plus red with full strike and blazing luster, you're looking at prices that can exceed $2,500 to $3,000 at the right auction with the right bidders in the room. PCGS and NGC population reports show that truly gem examples are far rarer than the mintage numbers suggest, because most of these coins were spent, saved carelessly, or lost to circulation without anyone giving them a second thought. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Errors and varieties on the 2008 D. There are documented double die obverse varieties on this date where Lincoln's portrait, the date, and the motto "In God We Trust" show clear doubling under magnification. A confirmed Dido, double die obverse, on the 2008 D in circulated condition can bring $200 to $500 easily. In mint state, you're potentially looking at it to $2,000 depending on the grade and the severity of the doubling. There are also repunched mint mark varieties, RPMs, where the D mint mark was punched into the die more than once, leaving a visible secondary D either north, south, or rotated beneath the primary. Collectors hunt these varieties obsessively, and a strong RPM on this date in MS65 red can command $300-800 depending on the auction. Die cap errors, off-center strikes, and broad strikes on the 2008 D, these are the kinds of major mint errors that can send values into completely different territory. A 10 to 15% off-center strike with full date visible? Easily $400 to $1,200. A dramatic 50% off-center? We're talking $2,000 to $5,000 depending on condition. The Denver Mint struck over 2.8 billion of these coins in 2008, and yet the percentage that survived in true gem condition is a tiny, tiny fraction of that number. Scarcity at the top of the grading scale is what drives these prices, and the 2008 D has that scarcity in spades at the MS67 and above level. Next up, coin number 5, 2007 Lincoln Memorial Scent, Philadelphia Mint. Coming in at number 5, we have the 2007 Philadelphia Mint Lincoln Memorial Scent, no mint mark, struck in the city of brotherly love, and this one has a story that serious collectors have been paying very close attention to for years now. The 2007 scent sits in that sweet spot of being modern enough that most people dismiss it entirely, but old enough and scarce enough in high grade that the collector market has been steadily pushing prices up year after year. Let's establish something important right away. When we talk about Lincoln scents from Philadelphia in this era, we are talking about coins where the quality control at the mint was not always at its peak. Strike weakness, poor luster, and bag marks from the counting and rolling machinery mean that finding a 2007 Philadelphia scent with a full, sharp strike, blazing original red luster, and virtually no contact marks is genuinely difficult. PCGS and NGC have graded relatively few examples at MS67 Red, and MS67 Plus Red examples are legitimately rare. That rarity translates directly to money. A circulated 2007 scent, obviously worth face value. A nice AU or MS63 Red, a few dollars to collectors building date sets. But start climbing that grading ladder and things change fast. MS65 Red examples trade in the $15 to $50 range. MS66 Red examples push $100 to $300. And at MS67 Red, you're looking at auction results in the $500 to $1,500 range. A certified MS67 Plus Red with a plus designation from PCGS or NGC, which means the coin is at the very top end of that grade. Those coins have crossed the $3,000 to $5,000 threshold at major auctions, and serious registry set collectors will compete hard for them. Now the variety and error side of the 2007 Philadelphia scent is where things get truly exciting for the specialist. There are double die obverse varieties confirmed for this date. Look carefully at Lincoln's eye, his ear, and the lettering in Liberty and in God We Trust. Strong hub doubling creates a notched or spread effect that is absolutely unmistakable once you know what you're looking for. A strong dedo on the 2007 no mint mark scent can bring $300 to $1,000 in circulated grades. And properly certified examples in mint state have sold for $2,000 to $4,000 depending on the strength of the doubling and the overall grade. Die gouges, die polish lines creating so-called snowflake scents, machine doubling on the date, these are varieties that populate the want lists of Lincoln scent specialists. The 2007 also has documented cases of struck-through errors, where debris got between the planche and the die during striking, leaving a depression or void in the coin's surface. These errors in dramatic form can bring $200 to $600 at auction. Off-center strikes, weak strikes, and blockage errors round out the error landscape for this date. If you're sitting on a 2007 Lincoln scent in original uncirculated condition from a mint set or a roll, please get it looked at before you spend it. You might be holding something genuinely extraordinary. Next up. Coin number 4, 2006 Lincoln Memorial Scent, Philadelphia Mint. Number 4 on our countdown is the 2006 Philadelphia Mint Lincoln Memorial Scent. And I need you to understand something about this coin before we go any further. The year 2006 is a date that has been quietly climbing in collector demand, and the window to grab high-grade examples at reasonable prices is narrowing faster than most people realize. The numismatic community has been paying attention. Prices have been trending upward, and if you're not paying attention right alongside them, you are going to miss the boat. The 2006 no mint mark scent has a face value of 1 cent. 1 cent. But let's talk about what the market is actually doing with high-grade examples. At MS66 Red, you're comfortably in the $75 to $250 range for certified examples. At MS67 Red, the price curve bends sharply upward. $600 to $2,000 is a realistic range depending on eye appeal, luster quality, and the specific auction venue. The truly elite grade of MS67 Plus Red? We're talking about prices that approach and sometimes exceed $4,000 to $6,000 for the finest known examples. That is not face value. That is not even close to face value. That is the kind of return that makes coin collecting one of the most legitimate alternative investments a person can make. But the 2006 cent's real claim to fame in error and variety circles is its double die population. There are multiple double die obverse varieties attributed to the 2006 Philadelphia cent. Some show moderate doubling on Lincoln's portrait and the lettering. These are mid-tier varieties that bring $100 to $500 depending on grade. But the strongest Dido varieties, the ones where the doubling is dramatic and unmistakable even to the naked eye, those are the coins that collectors get genuinely emotional about. A strong double die obverse on the 2006 cent in high circulated to lower mint state grades can bring $800 to $2,500. In gem mint state MS65 red or above, the sky starts to become the ceiling, and prices north of $5,000 are not out of the question for a documented, certified, dramatic Dido. The 2006 Lincoln cent also exists with documented double die reverse varieties, deader, where the Lincoln Memorial Building on the reverse shows spreading or doubling in the columns, the steps, or the lettering in United States of America and 1 cent. Reverse double dies tend to command slightly lower premiums than obverse varieties because they are less visually dramatic, but strong deader examples still easily bring $200 to $1,000 at auction, depending on specifics. Broad-struck examples of the 2006 cent, coins that were struck without a collar, causing the metal to spread beyond its normal diameter, are genuinely dramatic and immediately eye-catching. These major mint errors in the 2006 Philadelphia cent bring $300 to $2,000, depending on the degree of the broad strike and the overall preservation of the coin. Next up. Coin number 3. 2003 Lincoln Memorial Cent, Philadelphia Mint. We are at number 3 now, and the energy in the collector market around the 2003 Philadelphia Lincoln Memorial Cent is something I want you to pay very close attention to, because this is one of those dates that is starting to get the serious collector treatment, meaning prices are moving, certified populations at the top grades are thin, and the window for finding raw examples that could crack out as high-grade coins is still open, but it won't be open forever. The 2003 No Mint Mark cent comes from Philadelphia, and at face value it is worth 1 cent. But certified in MS67 red, this coin has been bringing $700 to $2,500 auction with consistency. At MS67 plus red, the absolute elite end of the grading spectrum for a modern Lincoln cent, examples are genuinely rare, and when they come up at auction, they generate real bidding wars among registry set collectors. Prices for the finest known 2003 Philadelphia cents in MS67 plus red have reached $5,000 to $8,000, and for a coin that started life as 1 cent, that's a staggering appreciation in value. Here's something about the 2003 cent that most casual collectors don't know. This was a year when Philadelphia had some notable die quality issues, meaning that finding a sharply struck, fully lustrous, mark-free example is harder than the raw mintage numbers would suggest. The mint struck over 3.3 billion Lincoln cents in Philadelphia in 2003. An enormous number. But because most of them went directly into circulation, and because the handling and processing at the mint introduced bag marks and abrasions to even mint-fresh coins, the population of true gem examples is surprisingly thin. When supply is thin and demand from serious collectors is growing, you know what happens to prices. The double die varieties on the 2003 Philadelphia cent are the stuff of legends in specialist circles. There is a particularly dramatic double die obverse for this year that shows heavy, clear doubling in Lincoln's portrait, in the date, and in the motto. This is not subtle machine doubling, this is hub doubling, the real deal, the kind of variety that gets its own cherry picker's guide listing and its own dedicated following among Lincoln cent enthusiasts. A certified attributed strong Dido on the 2003 cent in circulated condition brings $500 to $2,000. In mint state, we're talking $3,000 to $7,000 for a properly certified example in a grade of MS63 red or above. That is not a typo. That is the actual market value of a 1-cent coin with the right variety. Off-metal errors, planche errors, and clipped planche varieties on the 2003 cent deserve mention too. A curved clip, where a portion of the planche is missing due to a punching error, can bring $100 to $800 depending on the size and drama of the clip. A ragged clip or a straight clip on the 2003 cent in MS condition can exceed $1,000 to $2,500 at the right auction. Die crack varieties are also popular with specialists. Dramatic retained cuds, where a piece of the die broke away but remained in place during striking, are dramatic and visually stunning. A major retained cud on the 2003 Lincoln cent, easily $500 to $3,000, depending on severity and grade. Next up. Coin number 2, 2002 Lincoln Memorial Cent, Philadelphia Mint. Number 2 on our list is the 2002 Philadelphia Lincoln Memorial Cent, and I want to be absolutely direct with you about this coin. It is one of the most underrated and undervalued early 2000s Lincoln cents in the entire series, and the collectors who have figured this out have been quietly accumulating high-grade examples for years, while the rest of the world keeps spending these coins like they're worth nothing. Well, they're not worth nothing. Not even close. At face value, 1 cent. At MS67 red in a PCGS or NGC holder, we're talking $800 to $3,000 consistently at auction, with the finest known examples pushing well past that threshold. The 2002 Philadelphia cent has a certified population at MS67 red that is genuinely slim compared to the hundreds of millions of these coins that were originally struck. When you find one of the finest known examples of any coin, modern or ancient, the market rewards you handsomely. The 2002 is no different. What makes the 2002 Philadelphia cent particularly exciting is the documented error and variety landscape. There is a well-known double die obverse variety for 2002 that has been generating serious auction action. The doubling is visible in the portrait of Lincoln, in the date, and in the motto "In God We Trust." 3 areas that collectors focus on first when examining a Lincoln cent for variety potential. The strongest examples of this do have sold at auction for prices ranging from $1,500 to $6,000 in properly graded and attributed condition. Even moderately strong examples in circulated grades bring $300 to $1,200 when properly identified and certified. The 2002 cent also has a population of known wrong planche errors, coins that were accidentally struck on planches intended for other denominations. A Lincoln cent design struck on a dime planche, for example, is a dramatically small and thin coin that is immediately and obviously wrong in the best possible way. These major wrong planche errors are among the most dramatic and collectible errors in all of American coinage, and when they surface for the 2002 date, prices can range from $2,000 all the way up to $10,000 or more depending on the specific planche, the grade, and the drama of the error. Broad strikes on the 2002 cent, $400 to $2,500. Dramatic die caps, $1,500 to $8,000. Off-center strikes at 25% or more with full date, $500 to $2,000. The 2002 Philadelphia cent is the coin on this list that I personally think has the most room to run in terms of collector appreciation and price appreciation over the next decade. Early 2000s Lincoln cents are entering that sweet spot where enough time has passed that they feel genuinely historical. But prices haven't yet fully reflected the true scarcity of high-grade, error, and variety examples. Get educated. Get searching. And if you find a 2002 no-mint mark cent in original red uncirculated condition, do not spend it. Next up. Coin number 1, 2000 Lincoln Memorial Cent, Philadelphia Mint. And here we are. Number 1 on our list, the coin I have been building toward this entire video, the 2000 Philadelphia Mint Lincoln Memorial Cent, no mint mark, and if there is one coin from this entire list that I believe every single person watching this video should be actively searching for, examining under magnification, and seriously considering getting certified, it is this one right here. Why? Let me tell you exactly why. The year 2000 is the first year of the new millennium. That date, 2000, carries a symbolic weight, a cultural resonance, and a collector appeal that no other date in this series can match. Collectors who want a meaningful date to anchor their Lincoln cent collection almost always want the year 2000. First year of the millennium coins draw collector attention from numismatists who wouldn't otherwise think twice about modern Lincoln cents, and that expanded collector base means more demand, more competition at auction, and higher prices for the finest examples. The face value of the 2000 Philadelphia Lincoln cent is 1 cent. The auction value of a certified MS-67 red example is, and I want you to sit down for this, regularly bringing $1,000 to $4,000 at major auction houses. The finest certified examples at MS-67 Plus Red have sold for prices exceeding $6,000 to $10,000, and there are documented auction results for specific high-population report examples that push beyond that threshold when major registry set collectors go head-to-head on a coin they both need for a top-ranked set. $10,000. For a penny. Minted in the year 2000. Let that sink in. But the year 2000 Philadelphia Lincoln cent's most legendary status in the error and variety community comes from something far more dramatic than just a high grade. The 2000 Lincoln cent has one of the most fascinating and well-documented double-die obverse varieties in the modern Lincoln cent series. The doubling on the strongest Dido examples for this date is visible to the naked eye. No magnification required. With clear, dramatic separation visible in Lincoln's portrait, the date digits, and the motto lettering. Collectors and researchers at Konica, the combined organizations of numismatic error collectors of America, have thoroughly attributed and documented these varieties, and the collector demand for certified, attributed strong do examples of the 2000 cent is intense and ongoing. A certified strong do on the 2000 Philadelphia cent in circulated very fine or extremely fine condition brings $1,500 to $5,000. In about uncirculated? $3,000 to $8,000. In gem mint state MS-65 red or above. Documented auction results show prices reaching $8,000 to $15,000 or more for the most dramatic, highest graded, finest eye appeal examples. We are talking about a penny. A single American penny with a face value of 1 cent worth $15,000 to the right collector at the right auction. That is the power of variety collecting. That is the power of knowing what you're looking at. The 2000 Philadelphia cent also exists with documented double-die reverse varieties. Repunched date varieties. Yes, you can find coins where the date itself was punched more than once into the working die, leaving a secondary 2 or secondary 0 visible under the primary digits, as well as dramatic broad strike errors, die cap errors, and multiple strike errors. A double-struck 2000 Lincoln cent, where the coin was fed through the press and struck twice without ejecting, shows a dramatic partial second impression overlapping the first. These double-struck errors in mint state condition on the year 2000 cent have brought $3,000 to $12,000 at auction. A dramatic die cap error, where the coin sticks to the die and begins to curve around it, being struck multiple times into a cap shape, can bring $5,000 to $20,000 depending on the severity and the condition. Go check your change. Go raid that old coin jar. Go look through every penny you've been tossing into a bowl on your dresser for the past 2 decades. The 2000 Lincoln Memorial Cent, Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, is the #1 coin on this list, and it might just be worth more than you ever imagined, sitting right there in your own home. Outro. And that is a wrap on 6 Lincoln Memorial Cents that could legitimately change your financial day, or maybe your financial year. From the 2008 D Denver Mint Cent all the way up to the legendary 2000 Philadelphia mint cent, these are not fairy tales, these are not exaggerations, these are real auction results, real collector values, and real coins that real people have found in real pocket change. The difference between the person who spends a $10,000 penny and the person who sells it is simply knowledge, and now you have that knowledge. Check every single date we covered today. Look for the mint marks, look for the doubling, look for the errors, and when in doubt, get it certified. If this video opened your eyes to what's hiding in your change, do me one favor, hit that subscribe button right now. Because every single week, we are going deep on the coins that the rest of the world is sleeping on. New videos, new discoveries, new thousands of dollars, finds that you need to know about before everyone else does. Ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and drop a comment below telling me which of these 6 coins you're going to search for first. I'll see you in the next one. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and never spend a coin until you know exactly what you're holding.